What is up, guys? It is Sam the Raid Man, aka Sam the Star Wars Man, I guess. Day 3 of playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Definitely didn't play quite as much today, but I did watch a lot of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes YouTube today. And today I want to talk about my plans. I've got my semi-formal proposed plan specifically regarding Galactic Legends, but I want to hear feedback from you guys, and I will have some questions about where I can fit in specific champions into that farming guide. This is the graphic I've seen the most from Nooch, and I've seen a few different versions from Onel and things like that, but it seems like it's generally aligned. My issue with it is what changes when you buy these lightspeed bundles, right? So where does Slicker fit in now when I have his lightspeed bundle? Where does Ray fit in now that I have his lightspeed bundle? Finalizer, things like that. I'm not going to talk about ships because ships stress me out. So this is my tentative plan. Maybe it's foolish. If it is, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Let me know in the comments. So my first plan is continue farming all the lightspeed tokens until there is 0 more that I can get. The only barrier I'm having right now is I need to win 10 battles with Barris in my squad, but I don't have any form of Barris. So I did get a what is it called? An anomalous lightspeed token that I could use on Barris. I don't know if that's worthwhile, or should I just try and farm her slowly and get her in a team, right? Because she's only 25, but I don't have any guild currency too, so I can do this battle a ton of times. Is that just the best way to do it, to get her in a team? Or is that worth a lightspeed token? I don't know. Anyways, we're going to farm all the lightspeed tokens. That's for sure. I'll do some more research on that. That's what we're going to do. But then I think we're going to kind of jump out of that farming guide and we're going to go for our first Galactic Legend. And that's going to be for Slicker, because we already bought his lightspeed bundle and we bought the Finalizer bundle. So Kylo Ren Unmasked and Kylo Ren are Relic 5. And we just need to get them from Relic 5 to Relic 7. That's not terrible. Emperor Palpatine, we have at level 7 stars, but he's Gear 13, so we need to get him all the way up to Relic 7. So it's a bigger ask, but doable. And I think that will still be easier than getting the Finalizer up to 5 stars. We have 40 fragments for it. This event's about to go away. I think it comes back within the month. I'm not sure. And I know we can't get this just yet until we get it. We get it at 4 stars, then you can start buying this. I don't plan on buying any with packs because it's such a bad return rate. But yeah. It seems like we'll be able to get the champions before we get Finalizer. But that still feels like the least amount of time and resources invested to get a Galactic Legend. And I want a Galactic Legend for fun and for pride's sake. But also I've never had that Galactic Legend before. Ray's the only one I've had. Because I've had Ray before, and because I don't have the Radis Lightspeed Bundle purchased or the Jedi Training Ray lightspeed bundle purchased, she's kind of taking a bit of a backlog while I slowly farm for her. So my thought is, while I'm slowly farming for Rey in the background, I want to go for Leia as my first big Galactic Legend. Seems like that is the recommendation for a lot of people because of how versatile she is and how amazing she is. The issue with that is a lot of these champions, specifically tier 3, are just champions I have 0 investment in, except for CLS. CLS we can get in the next day or two. We're not far off from that at all. Besides that, a lot of these champions, I guess we have Rex at Gear 13, and Akbar at Relic? Or no? No, we're not. I thought we had a lightspeed token for him, but maybe not. Anyways, hopefully that makes sense. And then while we're working on Leia and getting close to her, obviously we'll start farming for Jabba and then going for Jabba next. That's super exciting. I'm very impressed with him. Emotionally, I probably would have gone Jabba first, but it seems like it's probably better to go Leia first in terms of the path line for that. So go Leia, then Jabba, and then Rey. That's my thought. So Slicker, Leia, Jabba, Rey. Obviously, this is a long time, right? But having this as a big idea will take some of the pressure off me. I can start writing this down and mapping out steps, knowing every day you log in the game, you farm these nodes, you do this, and it'll start making more sense to me when I have a system. So that makes sense. Hopefully that's a logical plan. If not, we will tweak as needed and update. But my question comes into some of these optional farms and where I get them. So some of these champions I'm going to ask about are champions that I have, characters I have emotional connections to from being a Star Wars fan. And some of them are characters that I've heard are very good in the game. And I want to know, do they throw a wrench in the plan? Do they supersede the plan? Are they irrelevant and they come down the line? I don't know. So the first one is, I think, not as meta, but more emotional for me. And that is General Anakin Skywalker, or Gas. My favorite character in all of Star Wars is Anakin, followed closely by Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I really would like Gas. I don't think he's super good. I know he's got his clones team, which we have a lot of them, but not at super high levels or relics or anything. But the farm seems kind of difficult, specifically from the ship standpoint. So I don't know how difficult that would be. Like, we have to have 7 stars, and none of them are 7-starred. The capital ship we would be fine with, but the rest of them doesn't feel very great. Padme we can do, probably with Geos. We have Shakti and Snips from Lightspeed tokens, which is awesome. General Kenobi shouldn't be terribly difficult to get once we start raiding, which we're in a guild now, we can start doing, and C-3PO will be very tedious because he is the Ewoks, and I have literally basically 0 Ewoks. So C-3PO could be a blocker, but I think the rest of it is doable. Oh, I forgot about the Separatist droids. And again, needing them at 7 stars, brutal. So that feels like a lot of investments for, I'm not sure how much of a lifter he would be for my account, but emotionally I would like that. So let me know how viable that is. Speaking of Separatist droids, another champion or character that I really want from an emotional standpoint is the coolest droid of all time, General Grievous. One of my favorite like visual characters in Star Wars, like in the whole IP. And I showed you guys my BB-8 model. I have the General Grievous model set. I just need to build it. And it was my most expensive model I bought, and I will proudly display it as probably my coolest model once he's built. So I really want General Grievous, and I think I'll get him regardless, kind of from the shard store, but there's not like a dedicated farm for him. My concern with him is it seems like his team isn't very good. It seems like it's just the Separatist droids. So I don't know if that gives me more validity if I get to go for gas, then I also get to build a General Grievous team. That makes me feel a little bit better, but I don't know if that's like just energy wasted that should all be dedicated towards like geo farming or something. So let me know. I guess that's the crux of my question is, where does like the meta and like what I should do next stop, and where does that align with like what I emotionally want to do to have fun? You know, that's kind of my question. So that's the 2 of the characters that I want most emotionally. One of the characters I want the most from watching YouTube videos today is Balin Skull. Dude seems awesome, and Sanjita could not speak higher of him. Was in his top 5 non-GLs in the game. But 5 champions at Relic 7 that I have none of. Like, I have Thrawn at 7 stars, but not geared. So that's like a huge ask, and I don't know how difficult these farms are in terms of trying to get these champions. So like, that seems brutal. So that seems like that is super far off. But is that something I should start farming for now? Is that a after Leia before Jabba? Like, where does that line up is what I'm asking. And then a little sooner, I would think, than that, aided a lot by the Lightspeed tokens. This isn't a team that I've heard you should invest in necessarily, but it just becomes a question of, should I go for the Inquisitor since I've got 2 of them already at Gear 13 with Zetas, and I think there's at least 1 more of them that I've heard, if not 3 of them, that come from Lightspeed tokens. Someone mentioned the Inquisitors coming from Lightspeed tokens. I don't know if it's just these 2 or if there's more. Obviously, Reva obviously comes from the Rise of the Empire, which I won't be doing anytime soon, despite my guild doing it. But getting Grand Inquisitor, is that something that I should look into? Because of the Lightspeed tokens, kind of enabling that as less of a Chirotech heavy farm. So that's a question for you guys. Maybe that's not worth it, and I'll just skip it and not worry about it. And then my last question is about 2 solo champions for GAC. Obviously, GAC is still like huge in the game, and I am 1-1, hopefully about to be 2-1 in my first ever GAC. I feel okay against this opponent. The 2 solo champions obviously being Wampa from the guild store. I remember using Wampa back in the day. That is a champion I'd invested in and had a lot of fun with. Soloing teams and watching him solo teams was super cool. But then the other one would be Savage Opress. Savage Opress, I don't know if he's still as good as he used to be. I remember him being amazing, but I never built him. But Savage, I do have like a emotional fondness for from the Clone Wars series and him being so awesome, despite how short he was on the series. He was awesome. And I've heard he's one of the best like first Omicrons that you should invest into. So that would be some of the feedback that I would appreciate from you guys. I'm in a guild now, which is great. Someone on Discord found me, but it sounds like I should be in a different guild that's perhaps doing Geonosis TV instead of Rote. So yeah, I'm trying to nail that down, but at least I want to start doing raids so I can get some of that currency in. I don't want to put heavy investments like Zetas and Omicrons into anybody until I've got all the Lightspeed tokens in, which we're getting a ton of those done, and I've got a video coming out on some of the tips and tricks that I've been picking up off Reddit and other YouTube videos tomorrow. So anyways, I would appreciate the feedback. Thank you guys so much for the support on the YouTube channel and for me as a player. It's been awesome. Subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content, and I'll see y'all on the next one.